Now, car buying is hard. If you want to make an informed decision about your next purchase, you've got to read a lot of reviews, watch a lot of videos, but we're here to help you out. This is a Changan Alsvin, and we think this might be the subcompact sedan you might be looking for. What's going on, guys? Roy Robles here for Zigwheels.Ph, and today we'll be looking at the Changan Alsvin with a dual clutch transmission. So let's start with the front end of the Changan Alsvin. As you can see, all the character lines actually lead you to the center, which has this large Changan badge. Check this grill out. They call this the butterfly grill. You won't see any honeycomb designs to it. It's not sporty, but at least give it a little bit more elegance to it and the overall look. Personally, I'm not a fan of this design, but once you see it on the road, especially on an angle from over here, it kind of works in that way. But check out these headlamps. The headlamps are definitely halogen, but they're automatic leveling. You can actually set the level of these headlamps from the inside. I'll show that to you later on, but they're projectors at least. So they've got that going for them. You also have DRLs at the bottom in place of fog lamps. Now these DRLs at the bottom here automatically turn off once you turn on the headlamps, which is quite a bummer for me. There's no way for you to turn them on at night. They only activate themselves when the headlamps are off. Now, heading over to the side profile of the Changan Alsvin, you will see that the overall greenhouse has that more extended bulbous look in the age where most subcompact sedans are adapting a sleeker design for design's sake. In this case here, they're going for a more functional look, for more headroom inside. That does not do wonders for the design, but at least it's cohesive with the overall look. I swear, if you see this rolling down the road, you wouldn't mind it, but parked like this, you'd find something off with how the greenhouse looks. If you notice these wheels are awfully small, but they're actually 15 inches. That's how tall this car is. If you look at the entire side profile of the Changan Alsvin, you'd see 15 inches that actually look diminutive with the overall look. I think changing those for 16s or 17s would do wonders for this car, but as it is, it's plain Jane. Now the wraparound tail lamps carries over to the rear, which is my favorite part of the Changan Alsvin. If you notice, the boot actually is kind of scrunched together, giving you that more compact look. Simple is better. You've got your rear proximity sensors there for your parking. You've got a black strip at the bottom, but the only thing that I don't like about the rear is, of course, should I call that a shark's fin antenna? It looks kind of odd because it's differently colored from the body panels. Now, one of the quirks of the Changan Alsvin is that it doesn't have any door handles on the outside. You open the trunk, you either open it from the inside or from the key fob by double clicking the middle button. It gives you access to 390 liters of space. Unfortunately, these seats don't fold down, so this is all you get. So inside the Changan Alsvin, the first thing that's gonna grab your attention is this nice sculpted dashboard that's nicely integrated into the side door panels right here. If you notice, it's got this nice unobstructed line going from the side right here of the door panel all the way around to the other side. I think that's great design language, Changan. The only thing I have my doubts about is this center console panel. Now, you know me, I don't like piano black, but it actually has a nice design overall to it, especially this blue line that actually runs across the entire cross section. Now you also have this manual air conditioning. You got USB port right here at the bottom and a power socket. And right at the bottom, you got your shifter. This, by the way, is a 5-speed dual clutch transmission, and we'll be discussing that in the drive later on. Now, steering wheel. The steering wheel is polyurethane, but you have buttons right here for cruise control and, of course, your media control. There's also a button right here for the camera, for the blind spot camera right there, which I'm going to discuss during the safety features. These aircon vents on the side are very Germanic, if you ask me, but everything is within reach, I'd say. It does have a lot of space. You got a nice armrest right here. There are some more expensive subcompact sedans out there that do not have a center armrest, and based on the comments that I've read in the comment section of the other videos, I'd say that you're definitely gonna love this center armrest right here. You got a deep cubby hole right here, and this subcompact sedan that's way below 1 million pesos actually has a sunroof. which is nice. It's a nice touch right there. So also right here, you got a floating 7-inch touchscreen, which is kind of plasticky. It doesn't have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, but at least you got a touchscreen with Bluetooth. And the gauges are also nice and legible. Now up in the rear, there's nothing of note. You don't even have a rear aircon vents or any USB ports to say. There's really nothing worth a mention the rear, except that it does have a lot of space. I do fit myself even with my own driving position right here. So that's basically it for the Changan Alsvin. Now let's see how it drives. So behind the wheel of the Changan Alsvin, first of all, the driving position is all right. You won't be able to achieve your optimum driving position really, because the steering wheel is only adjustable for rake. That's up and down, but not reach. But that's perfectly fine because of the small stature of the subcompact sedan here. Everything is within reach, and you're not going to be driving aggressively anyway in this car. But the thing is, these seats, I gotta say, these seats are actually one of the more comfortable seats I've seen in the subcompact class. They're leather, but the middle part has fabric inserts, so you won't be jostling around whenever you're driving. This thing is really, really comfortable. All right, NVH, or noise vibration harshness, is actually kept at a minimum in the Changan Alsvin. Now we're traveling through the busy streets up here where you got a lot of tricycles, you got motorcycles out there, but you can barely hear them from the inside. The only thing that you can hear is, of course, a lot of engine noise seeping through the cabin from that engine. But when it comes to NVH levels, it's good for the class. So that's the engine. It's a 1.5 liter naturally aspirated engine that's moved by a 5-speed dual clutch transmission. Now, in the subcompact class, I've never driven a subcompact sedan with a dual clutch transmission. It's usually CVTs or automatic transmissions. And I gotta say, it gives the engine some sort of special feeling behind it that CVTs or automatics can't give. I'm almost certain that I've achieved the same kind of satisfaction, the same kind of power that I would wring out of an engine if this were a manual transmission. That engine, by the way, just makes 107 horsepower and 105 newton meters of torque, but you can definitely feel every bit of inch of horsepower and torque being utilized by that transmission. Now, one thing about the manual mode in the Changan Alsvin is that whenever you shift into manual, you know, you can definitely shift into the gears that you want to put it into, right? It's more of, it's like you're giving the car a suggestion of what gear you want it to put into. Because even if you put it on, say, second, if the engine knows that, no, you're not supposed to be on first in this particular gear, it's not going to give you first. Now, that's fine with me, but sometimes you want to go crazy, right? Sometimes you want to downshift to second and just let her rip. But I guess that's not going to happen in this car. But what you do get because of that transmission and the small engine is great fuel economy. Fuel economy in the Changan Alsvin is, get this, 10 to 12 kilometers per liter in the city, and that's with heavy traffic, guys. I thought it was a fluke. I thought it was a mistake on the car, but it's actually 10 to 12 kilometers per liter in heavy traffic. The other day, I was driving home, rush hour traffic. I was stuck in traffic for about 2 hours, and I was still able to wring out 10 to 11 kilometers per liter, and that's just insane. That's just crazy. And then when I got to the open parts, the highways, it just got even better. I got 14 to 15 kilometers per liter in the city. Now, a lot of people might have gotten better fuel economy figures out of this car, and they could. Safety features include the standard dual airbags, ABS, electronic brake force distribution, and since this is the dual clutch transmission version, you have stability control, you got hill start assist, and the platinum version, this top of the line version, has even more features, like of course the backup camera with the dynamic guidelines, definitely helps, and of course the blind spot monitor system. I'm going to tell you why that's a great thing. The blind spot monitoring system here, the blind spot camera, actually faces forward, so you know exactly where the front of the car is going to pass through. So that's great for parallel parking forward or going through tight streets, because you can see this part, but you can't see that part. So I think that's genius. I think that's perfect. More cars should be doing that. Pricing for the Changan Alsvin starts at 629,000 pesos for the 1.4 liter naturally aspirated with a 5-speed manual transmission. Then you get, if you want to move up to the 1.5 liter with a DCT or dual clutch transmission, you've got to figure out how to cuff up 689,000 pesos. Now, if you want to get this particular variant with the extra safety features and of course that sweet sunroof, that's the Changan Alsvin Platinum version, that's going to cost you 739,000 pesos. Now Changan frequently dishes out promos, but you know where to get the best promos. Head on over to Zigwheels.Ph and then check out the Changan Alsvin. The link's going to be down below. Make sure that you follow that page, subscribe to notifications, and then make sure that you will be alerted whenever a promo comes up for a Changan Alsvin. I swear, it's one of the most compelling, most affordable cars out there. It's crazy, it's unbelievable. So there you have it, folks, the Changan Alsvin. Define a sleeper car. It's a car that doesn't really tug on the heartstrings that much, isn't a desirable car, nor does it come from a brand that you really know from. But once you start driving it, you realize that it's the closest thing you have to an actual driver's car at this price point. You gotta give this thing a try, and trust me, you might just be a believer. Thanks so much for watching, and before we end the video, we'd like to give a quick shout out to Pak'N Wings and Formula G Car Wash. If you need to know more about them, you can find their details in the description below. And while you're at it, leave us a comment, tell us what you think about the Changan Alsvin or any other subcompact sedan you might want to consider buying, and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so that you are alerted whenever we upload a new video. This is Roy Robles with Zigwheels.Ph, and I'll see you guys next time.